In this session, we describe the way of expressing ordinary functions in terms of parametric equations. We also discuss translation and scaling of parametrized curves to obtain new curves from known curves. We conclude the session with a discussion on cycloids, an important class of curves. Expressing ordinary functions parametrically. Any curve given by the parametric equation y is equal to f of x can be expressed in parametric form by introducing the parameter t is equal to x. This yields the parametric equations x is equal to t and y is equal to f of t. As an example, the portion of the curve y is equal to sin x over the interval closed interval negative 2 pi can be expressed parametrically as x is equal to t and y is equal to sin t, where negative 2 pi less than or equal to t less than or equal to 2 pi. The orientation of the curve is such that the points on the curve moves along the curve to the right side as t increases. As another example, the parametrization of the parabola y is equal to x square is obtained as follows. We let x is equal to t, then y is equal to x square gives y is equal to t square. Also, the fact that x may be any real number shows that t also be any real number. Hence, the parabola y is equal to x square has the parametrization given by x is equal to t and y is equal to t square, where negative infinity less than t less than plus infinity. Suppose a particle moves through the parabola. As t increases from negative infinity to plus infinity, the particle comes down the left hand side, passes through the origin and moves up the right hand side. So, the particle moves along the entire portion of the parabola y is equal to x square. We bring the attention to point out that not all parametric equations produce curves with definite orientations. If the equations are badly behaved, then the point tracing the curve may leap around irregularly or move back and forth, failing to determine a definite direction. For example, in the parametrization x is equal to sin t and y is equal to sin square t, the point ordered by x y moves along the parabola y is equal to x square. However, since sin function is a periodic function, the value of x is equal to sin t varies periodically between negative 1 and 1. So, the point ordered by x y moves periodically back and forth along the parabola between the points ordered by negative 1 1 and ordered by 1 1. It covers only the portion of the parabola y is equal to x square between the points ordered by negative 1 1 and ordered by 1 1, with not giving a definite orientation to the curve. Also, the parametrization x is equal to sin t and y is equal to sin square t cannot cover the entire parabola y is equal to x square. We now consider an example discussing the way of obtaining parametrization of a given Cartesian equation where y is not given directly in terms of x. Let us parameterize the parabola given by the Cartesian equation y square is equal to 4ax. If we substitute 2at for y in the equation y square is equal to 4ax, we obtain 4a square t square is equal to 4ax, which gives x is equal to at square. Hence, parametrization is x is equal to at square and y is equal to 2at, where t be any real number. For a given real value t, the point ordered where at square 2at lies on the parabola and is referred as the point t. Translation of parametrized curves. Now, we are going to obtain curves by translation of known curves. For this, we note that if a parametric curve C is given by the equations x is equal to f of t and y is equal to g of t, then adding a constant to f of t translates the curve c in the x direction, and adding a constant to g of t translates the curve in the y direction. We remark that translation does not change the shape or size of the curve. Thus, from the parameterization, x is equal to a cos t and y is equal to a sin t, where 0 less than or equal to t less than or equal to 2 pi of the circle centered at the origin and having radius a, we can find the circle centered at ordered where x naught y naught and having radius a by adding x naught to a cos t and adding y naught to a sin t. Thus, the circle of radius a centered at ordered where x naught y naught can be represented parametrically as x is equal to x naught plus a cos t and y is equal to y naught plus a sin t, where 0 less than or equal to t less than or equal to 2 pi. We can obtain the Cartesian equation from the above parametric equations by eliminating the parameter t as follows: x minus x naught is equal to a cos t and y minus y naught is equal to a sin t, where 0 less than or equal to t less than or equal to 2 pi. Thus, x minus x naught all square plus y minus y naught all square is equal to a cos t all square plus a sin t all square, which is equal to a square times cos square t plus sin square t, which is equal to a square. That is, x minus x naught all square plus y minus y naught all square is equal to a square is the Cartesian equation that represents for a circle of radius a centered at ordered where x naught y naught. Scaling. Scaling is multiplying coordinates so that it alter the shape and size of the original curve. We are now going to see that multiplying the x coordinate of a parametric curve by a constant stretches or compress the curve in the direction of x axis. Similarly, multiplying the y coordinate of a parametric curve by a constant stretches or compress the curve in the direction of y axis. That is, if a parametric curve c is given by the equations x is equal to f of t and y is equal to g of t, then multiplying f of t by a constant stretches or compresses the curve c in the x direction, and multiplying g of t by a constant stretches or compresses the curve c in the y direction. For example, we know that x is equal to cos t and y is equal to sin t, where 0 less than or equal to t less than or equal to 2 pi represents the unit circle x square plus y square is equal to 1 centered at the origin and oriented counterclockwise. If we multiply the x coordinate by 3 and y coordinate by 2, we obtain the parametric equations x is equal to 3 cos t and y is equal to 2 sin t, where 0 less than or equal to t less than or equal to 2 pi. This represents the ellipse x square by 3 square plus y square by 2 square is equal to 1, oriented counterclockwise. The new curve, that is ellipse, is obtained by stretching the unit circle by a factor of 3 in the x direction and a factor of 2 in the y direction. Cycloid. Now, we consider an important curve called a cycloid that has historical importance. We define that a cycloid is the curve traced by a point on the rim of a circular wheel as the wheel rolls along a straight line without slipping. For example, if a small light is fixed to the rim of a bicycle wheel, as the bike moves, the light rises and falls in a series of arches. If the bicycle moves on a straight line, then the path traced out by the light on the rim of the bike is a cycloid. Suppose a wheel of radius a rolls along a horizontal straight line. We find parametric equations for the path of the cycloid traced by a point p on the wheel's circumference. To obtain parametric equations for the cycloid, let us assume that the wheel has radius a and rolls along the positive x axis of a rectangular coordinate system. Mark a point P on the wheel, start the wheel with P at the origin and roll the wheel to the right. As parameter, we use the angle T through which the wheel turns, measured in radians. We observe the position of the wheel a short while later when its base lies 80 units from the origin and find the coordinates of the point P at that moment. As the base lies 80 units from the origin, the x coordinate of the center of the wheel at the moment is 80. The y coordinate of the center of the circle is always the value of the radius a itself. That is, the coordinates of the center C at the moment is ordered where 80a. Now, referring the figure, the x coordinate of the point P at the moment is x is equal to 80 plus Cn. Now, from the right angled triangle CNP, we have Cn is equal to Cp cos theta, which is equal to a cos theta. Hence, x is equal to 80 plus a cos theta. Also, the y coordinate of the point P at the moment is y is equal to a plus Np. Now, from the right angled triangle CNP, we have Np is equal to Cp sin theta, which is equal to a sin theta. Thus, y is equal to a plus a sin theta. So, the coordinates of P are x is equal to 80 plus a cos theta and y is equal to a plus a sin theta. To express theta in terms of t, we observe from the figure that t plus theta is equal to 3 pi by 2. So, that theta is equal to 3 pi by 2 minus t. This makes cos theta is equal to cos of 3 pi by 2 minus t, which is equal to negative sin t, and sin theta is equal to sin of 3 pi by 2 minus t, which is equal to negative cos t. Thus, the equation of the cycloid we seek are x is equal to a t minus a sin t and y is equal to a minus a cos t. These are usually written with the a factored out and is given by x is equal to a times t minus sin t and y is equal to a times 1 minus cos t. When t is equal to 0, the particle on the rim is at the point with the Cartesian coordinates x is equal to a times 0 minus sin 0, which is equal to 0, and y is equal to a times 1 minus cos 0, which is equal to a into 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. That is at the origin ordered by 0 0. When t is equal to 2 pi, the particle on the rim is at the point with the Cartesian coordinates x is equal to a times 2 pi minus sin 2 pi, which is equal to 2 pi a, and y is equal to a times 1 minus cos 2 pi, which is equal to a into 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. That is at the point ordered where 2 pi a 0. This is the place where the point on the rim touches the x axis after it touches the origin. The portion between two consecutive contacts with the x axis is called an arch. Figure shows the first arch of the cycloid and part of the next. Cycloid in mathematics history. Cycloids were studied by many leading mathematicians over the past 500 years. The name cycloid originates with the Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei, who studied the curve in detail. The story of Galileo dropping objects from the Leaning Tower of Pisa is well known. A falling object traces out an arc of an inverted cycloid. The cycloid provides the solution to two famous mathematical problems, the Brachistochrone problem and Tautochrone problem. In Greek language, the word Brachistochrone has the meaning shortest time. The Brachistochrone problem is to determine the shape of a wire along which a bead must slide from a point P to another point Q, not directly below in the shortest time. The solution to the Brachistochrone problem turns out to be an inverted cycloid. In Greek language, the word tautochrone has the meaning equal time. The tautochrone problem is to find the shape of a wire from P to Q such that two beads started at any points on the wire between P and Q reach Q in the same amount of time. The solution to this problem is also an inverted cycloid. In this session, we described the way of expressing ordinary functions in terms of parametric equations. We also discussed translation and scaling of parameterized curves. A brief description on cycloids is also done in the session. Hope you enjoyed the session. See you next time. Have a great day.